Investment property loans, bad credit. All right, guys, we're going to talk all about investment property loans, bad credit, and what you need to know about this. And so first off, when we talk about investment loans, there's different types of investment loans, and it depends on the purpose or what you're trying to accomplish here. You see, if you're trying to get a loan for a rental property or a long-term loan, you're going to have a much more difficult time doing that with bad credit than you are if you're doing a loan for a fix and flip. So let me explain that in a bit of detail. But before we do, I've got to give a shout out and a thank you for those of you that asked this question. Thank you. Please, if you've got other questions you'd like to have me answer, type it in the comments below and I'll create a video like this for you and my other subscribers. Thank you for all my amazing subscribers. So here's the deal. If you're wanting to get a long-term loan, which is typically what you're going to be doing for rental properties, which is typically like a 30-year loan. So here's the thing, if you're going to do something like that, that is typically based upon it's typically based upon how much money you have coming in, how long you've been on your job, and it usually wants to look at your credit. Because if you're getting a 30-year long-term conventional type or a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac type loan, that is going to be the lowest interest rate, which is going to get you the most cash flow when you have properties that you're looking to do rentals. So here's what I tell people is eventually you're going to want to get into the rental game. That's how you're going to get some cash flow. And if you want to do that, you are going to need to work on fixing your credit. Okay? Fix your credit. That would be my recommendation. Now, there is a way that you can do this by doing seller finance. And with seller finance, basically what happens is you're buying a property, you keep the existing loan in place, and you just come and take over that, and you promise to pay it back, but you don't, there's no credit checks or anything else like that. That's called subject to, because you're buying the property subject to the existing loan, which is a conversation for another day. But if you want to jump right into rental properties, you're going to need, and you've got poor credit, you're going to need to do seller financing, which is subject twos, which means you find people that have properties, you can take over the payments for them, or you're going to need to do a long-term plan on fixing your credit. I recommend working on your credit. I've done subject to deals. That's a great way to go as well. But long-term, getting that credit so you can get the lowest credit scores, the lowest interest rates is really a good thing you should be thinking about. So this is on the rental side or the long-term hold side. On the other side, you're going to have two other options, which is wholesale, and then you're going to have fix and flip. Okay, so we're going to talk about poor credit for both of these. So on the wholesale side of this, if you're not familiar, the idea of wholesaling is finding a property, say you get it for 100, marketing it up 110, selling it to another investor. That investor gives you $10,000 and takes over and closes on this. Now there's three different ways to actually close on these: simultaneous closing, assignment, double closing. It's going to depend on the state. It's going to depend on the deal and some of those things. So occasionally with these, you may need to bring in what's called flash cash, where you bring in money because it's got to be separate funds because you have to buy it, then they buy it from you. And if you've got to do that, most hard money lenders are going to do that as long as you don't have a few things. So let's just talk about what those things are going to be. They're going to want to make sure you don't have collections. They're going to want to make sure you don't have judgments. And they're going to want to make sure you're not in the middle of a bankruptcy. As long as you don't have those things, a hard money lender is going to be able to do the flash cash for you. But if you're doing an assignment, you're not going to need any flash cash, and credit's not going to be a problem. So you've got a great way to do things with poor credit here. You've got a great things to do with poor credit here on the subject twos. And now let's talk about the fix and flips. Typically with the fix and flips, you're in the same thing. You're buying a property, you're going to fix it up or improve it, and you're going to sell it for a profit is always the goal. To do something like that, you're typically going to have to get a hard money loan. A hard money lender is not because they're hard to work with, it's because they're lending on the hard asset. And to do all of that, this hard money lender is going to pull credit. They're just going to want to make sure you don't have those things. And if you do, they're not going to want to do the loan. So if that's the case, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find a credit partner. somebody that has good credit is willing to sign on the loan, put up their credit, doesn't have these things in order for you to do this deal. So with all of this, there's multiple ways if you've got bad credit getting a loan. Number one, if you're doing fix and flips, you get a credit partner. If you are in a situation where you're doing a wholesale deal, make sure you do it as an assignment where you're not having to go get the loan. And if you want to do it as a rental property, you are going to do it as a subject to. Now, it's going to be easier if you have good credit rather than bad credit, but you've got to start from somewhere. But I do say, think about making your credit a priority. It will help you in the long run and save you money in a lot of ways. Now, if you'd like to know the ways it'll save you some money, hit that thumbs up button right now and tell me I'm doing a great job. It's fun to do and it's free. So here's the thing a lot of people don't know about credit scores. If you have poor credit scores, you're paying more money on things like your insurance for your car, potentially even for homeowners insurance. You're going to be paying higher rates on your credit cards. And so having good credit is going to help you in those aspects. So I always recommend making a credit priority and work on improving that. However, I also say don't let the poor credit stop you. We just talked about ways to do 3 different types of deals, even if you have poor credit. So don't let that be the thing that stops you from getting started, because it's always a great time to get started in real estate investing. And it's like they say, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is today. And it's the same with real estate investing. The best time to get started was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. Now, if you'd like to get a copy of a book that I've written, How to Get More Money Than You Can Ever Handle, A Real Estate Investor's Guide to Funding Deals, I'll send you a free copy of it electronically. All you've got to do is text me your email address to 435-294-0433. I'll send it over. I've also got a video, How to Invest in Real Estate with Bad Credit. You're going to want to check that one out, as well as a blog post, How Can I Finance a House with Bad Credit? I'll link that in the description below so you can check it out. And if you're not a subscriber, why aren't you? Please consider subscribing. Sure love to have you. Otherwise, make it a very profitable day, and bye for now.